Logging on between the 22nd of March and the 29th of March at 2 PM ET would have got you a message to your inbox system which will give you the Dex Sybaris for... It's an anniversary thing, so it's basically given to you and it comes with a free catalyst built into it, not a separate, it's inside, and a weapon slot. And I'm sorry, but that little picture there does not do this weapon justice. Comparing it to the normal Sybaris, I said Sybaris, whatever. Yeah, they've changed it so the Dex version has more slash, a lot less puncture, just a little bit less impact. So they seem to have moved most of the damage over to slash. No big deal, because it reloads quicker, has 4 extra rounds in the magazine, has a higher fire rate, and even better, instead of a 25% crit chance and a 2 times multiplier, it's got a 35% crit chance with a 2 times multiplier. So, could be a decent weapon. I cannot believe I just did that. That's also at the same time where the good stuff ends, because it's got no polarities on it. It's still a good weapon. It's got a lot of promise. It's just, I kind of wish it had at least one V on here. Even a dash would have been good, because every build I can think of right now means that this is probably going to have to be formatted 4, maybe 5 times. My favourite thing about this, more than anything else... Hang on, I need to disable that. The muzzle flash is the lotus symbol. It's actually pretty cool. And I really need to stop firing now, because I was right about the barrel on this thing. It's actually a lotus-shaped barrel. There it is. Lotus-shaped barrel. That's actually pretty hard to see, isn't it? Yeah, I'm getting beat to death. I'll do this. Yeah, can kind of see it. Lotus-shaped barrel as it jumps around. I thought it was, but that looks pretty cool. After dumping 6 Forma into it, I basically put on 5 Vs and a dash. The 5th V is actually a mistake. It was meant to be a dash, because it was going to go 4 dashes, 4 Vs even, and 2 dashes. So I could basically fit in Serration, Split Chamber, Point Strike, and Vital Sense. Heavy Caliber was not on my plan for this, but I did throw in Heavy Caliber. I added Corrosion to this by putting in Infested Clip and Stormbringer, and I basically topped it off with Argon Scope. Unfortunately though, this only adds 87.5 total crit with a 4.4 times crit multiplier. Does give it 1101.2 corrosive as well as 275 slash, but if you were to dump the Heavy Caliber, Stormbringer and Infested Clip and put in Hammer Shot, Critical Delay and Fangled Fuselage, whatever, you would end up with 372.4 slash, no elemental whatsoever, but 104.3% crit chance and a 5.6 crit multiplier, which is really impressive, but unfortunately with it not having the elemental side, I did side for the other build. The only reason I sided with that is because Argon Scope on headshots, it gives 135% crit chance while aiming for something like 8 or 9 seconds once you first aim. So as long as you aim at an enemy, shoot them, stop aiming, then aim at a different one, it's pretty much 175% crit chance all the time. Still would have liked to stick with the Critical Delay, which adds the 48% crit chance. It does slow the fire rate down though, and that was noticeable, which was a goddamn shame. But Heavy Caliber on here kind of count as the fact that it's now got a 4.4 times crit multiplier instead of the 5 point whatever it was it had on before. And it's actually a pretty decent weapon. I'm tempted on forming it once more just for the pure hell of it. So it has another dash on there, which would be 7 Forma, which is quite a lot of Forma wasted on this thing. Really, I used the 6, got the build I wanted on there. I've got 3 total points left over, and it's I wouldn't say it's a really effective weapon, but it's still a good weapon because the Argon scope makes up for the 12.5% less than 100% crit chance that this thing has. But you do have to land the headshots, which can be kind of a pain, remembering that the Sybaris is a burst fire weapon. So you may aim for the headshot and the rest of the rounds may go above its head, depending on what range you actually fire this thing at. Its burst fire is fairly close together because it does have a pretty high fire rate, so even though it does have a burst fire to it, it's not that much recoil for a burst fire weapon. Some of the other burst fire weapons are just ridiculous when it comes to them. But this one, I liked it. I don't know whether I'll be retiring my burst and prime anytime soon, because I still think that, I don't want to say it's the best burst weapon, it's not really, but it was the most fun one out of pretty much all of them that I'd used. But this thing, it's definitely much better than that one, and it's definitely an improvement on the normal version, so considering that it's also technically a free weapon as long as you log in between the 22nd of March and the 29th of March, it's actually well worth doing this one up because it's going to come in really useful, especially with the corrosive on there. Okay, it doesn't take that much effect because it's not a high status chance, but it's just quite a good weapon actually.